Adele, hello again. You all right?
Yeah,
Good.
good.
How
Hi.
did you enjoy the full session, the main part?
Yeah, it was super good. I think it's really, having these conversations and hearing other people's views on things, it's good, right?
Mm,
Yeah, it's
it is
needed.
good. I love it.
Mm.
I love it. Okay, so behind closed doors, this is the part
Yeah.
where I like to step behind the business and find out a little bit more about who Adele Johnston is. What makes
Okay.
her tick? How does she function? What can I get something out of you that isn't on social media? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. No
Yeah.
pressure.
So
Yeah.
let's just start with dead simple though. What is a day in your life look like? A typical average day in Adele Johnson's life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am not an early riser. I'm definitely anti 5 a.m. club,
Really? Yeah.
right? So for me, a typical day is I will not get up any earlier than 7:30 if I don't have to. If I have to, it's normally because we're traveling, going away
This is
somewhere.
really nice to hear because I have had this perspective, and I think a few people have this as well, that a lot of really, really successful people, they do get up early and they are the
Yeah.
5 a.m. club. So to hear that someone who's just as successful, but they're not a 5 a.m. club, it's like, oh, you don't
No.
actually have to do that.
No, no, no. I mean, things might change, right? As I get a bit older and my circadian rhythm changes, maybe I will be a 5 a.m.er. But
Yeah.
right now it's a no. And actually, I have this running joke with my PT because he will try and get me in for 7 a.m. sessions. And I'm like, mate, I am sleeping at that time. I am not even going to be here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't tend to get up before 7:30. And then I have a nice slow morning, and I don't actually really start any work until 10 a.m. because I like to be able to potter about if it's
I
a
love
nice
that.
day, go for a walk, have a nice coffee. It's like actually, I just want that time for me. It wasn't
Yes.
always like that, but it's been engineered that way.
Love it. That again, like you really confirmed to me that because again, all I hear is a lot of the time, anyway, 90% of the time, it's get up, get right in the office, do the hard work first, eat the frog, get into
Yeah,
deep work mode. And I
not
think,
always. I think it's working to like you will know what works best for you. I do my better deep work later in the evening.
mm,
Right? So when I can shut the door and put the lights down and just put a wee bit of like binaural beats on in the background and just chill out and do my deep work, but actually like recordings and having calls and things like that, I would take them from 10 a.m. in the morning when my energy's a little bit higher. Like it's about engineering it around the tasks for the day so that I give my best at all the things, right? If you
mhm,
tried to interview me at like 5 o'clock tonight, I'd probably be like, oh, I'm having really bad brain fog and I can't answer these questions.
yeah, no, good, good.
Mm.
So what's an average week look like for you then? Oh, actually, hang on, we didn't finish the day thing. Sorry, we got till about 10
Yeah.
o'clock, and then you do
No,
work.
it's all right. Yeah. It's like I'll do some work. I think it's just being quite flexible. I've learned from having the back to back diary when I worked in corporate without lunch and without the ability to even
Mm,
take a pee break in the day. Like that's not it now. It's quite relaxed. It's quite gentle. But don't get me wrong, there are days where there are some back to back requirements in there, especially if we're doing a launch or we're doing a new, project. It's like, yeah, I'll need to commit to doing that. So I do tend to be very particular with how I structure things out. I'm a time blocker. So I like to stick everything in the diary and time block it so that I know where I've got time for my girls, and I won't book any calls in over the time that they're getting in from school, because what's important to me is that my office door is open when they get home and I greet them coming in the door and give them a cuddle. And it's like that's important to me to do that.
yeah, it's nice. It's
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah.
So the kids come home. Then what's an average day?
Yeah, and then they'll go do what they want to do. They're teenagers, so they normally go and hide in their room for a few hours, and yeah, I just get grunts like, "How was your day? It was
Yeah,
fine,"
yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, they're fine." And then yeah, we'll maybe have some student calls in the evening if we're running some of our live like support sessions. But I'll do PT through the day. I'm not an evening trainer. I like to go get it done earlier in the day, get out for my walks, things like that. I even take off to the beach sometimes if it's like, right, I'm going to go and just work from the beach. Right? It's like there's Wi-Fi in the cafe. Why not? So I try to keep things as fluid and as flexible as possible because I find that when I'm more in my like higher energy, fun energy, I'm more creative. I get tasks done quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like we talked about this already, but when the energy's high and I'm maybe traveling away and like I'm selling more.
Mm,
So I tend to look at what gets me the best results, and it's not sitting in these four walls just trying to work Monday to Friday. I
yeah.
don't work a Friday. So, I have a slow Monday through Thursday. I don't work Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays.
Yeah. Brilliant. I just came back from Madeira and I had the same thing. Like the amount of work I got done there and the amount of decisions I was able to make and how
Mm.
creative I was. I find that
Hmm.
exactly so. I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned about not working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have a 4 day week?
Yeah, I mean, some days I'll get up and I'll do some admin on a Saturday morning when my husband and the kids are sleeping, and it's like actually I just want to go plug in and do this thing. Like I get it done. I'm quite flexible. There's no hard rules around it. I tend not to try and book calls on a Monday because it's like I want to get in and go through like what's the actual focus.
Mm,
Yeah, so I can literally take the weekend for family time. It's when my husband's off, it's when the kids are off. So mindful that I'm a twin mum, right? So it's like I've got twin daughters that rely on me as well. So
yeah.
it's about being fluid in that. I try not
Yeah.
to put too much hard rules around it all.
Good. Good. What are your biggest stresses?
In life or business?
Life. Because
In
this is more
life,
behind the business, behind closed
yeah.
doors. What you maybe don't get to see on social media.
Oh, okay. So I think part of this is a couple of years ago, I got a verbal diagnosis of ADHD, and I
Mm,
had never had any inclination that this was a thing. But menopause can bring a lot of that on, and I went into very early menopause. So for me, health can be a bit of a stress. Being diagnosed with very early menopause in your 30s is not exactly something that any young girl or woman ever thinks will happen, and that has a health implications on. So I actually have osteopenia in my spine. It's not full-blown osteoporosis, but I'm very mindful of the fact that I'm a bit more at risk of osteoporosis in my spine. And with health being one of my big values, I'm also very mindful then that if I don't train at least 2 days a week, I'm like potentially like completely annihilating myself in the future.
mm,
So if I don't manage to get like my active days in, and it can be hard, don't get me wrong, like if my symptoms are really, really fucking me over, I'm done. And I can't really train that well. But that's a big stress, I would say, that comes in. Having twin, nearly 16-year-olds that are super hormonal, that's a stress for sure. I think life brings us stressors, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfectly following up then into what would you say your top three most felt emotions on a week-to-week basis are?
Ooh, gratitude for sure. So definitely always a gratitude. This is the simplest of things. Like I am a cheap date, very easy to feel grateful for the things, right? Even just waking up without an alarm and just being like, right, I'm super glad that I didn't have an alarm going off this morning. That's a gratitude. Yeah. So gratitude, big one. Frustration. So I get frustrated a lot because again, I want things to happen imminently. I'm very fast paced. My team laugh at me because they're like, you need to give us a little bit of, we're not as quick as you. You need to give us some leeway with
Yeah.
things. So yeah, I'm very kind of like boom, boom, boom. Um, and I would say majorly it goes between relaxed and stressed. Right? It's like the pendulum of I am so like free in the wind, super relaxed, nothing can bother me, to oh my god, everything's gone to shit and I feel like the business is going to crumble. It's
Mm,
dramatic, right? I'm
mm,
very dramatic. But yeah, there's like the swing, and I don't hide away from that. I talk about this very openly that business is not always that trajectory of consistently going up. You will have moments where you've launched a new program or product and it doesn't do what you've wanted it to do, right? And it's like pivot, like, where can we flex, bend and flex? So yeah, anything from super chilled and relaxed to, oh my God, I'm super stressed.
great. Not bad. A nice balance there. What have you had to sacrifice to get to where you are?
A lot of time, a lot of time. And I would say Probably a lot of time with my husband. He's taken the brunt of the sacrifice for sure at the start. But he was very understanding. He was, very much bought into what I was doing as well, which is really helpful because I think if you don't have a supportive partner in what you do, it would make things a lot harder. When he took the brunt of, being the parent, making the meals, when I'm growing the business and just locked in the office till all
Mm.
hours at night. I think he secretly loved it because he could watch all the boxing and all the football that he wanted to without the whole like, oh, you're watching another football match. So it kind of was a win-win. But yeah, I would say Sean, my husband, has definitely been the biggest sacrifice. He's taken the brunt.
Ah, poor Sean.
I know. Not now though, right? We've
Yeah,
we've built it. The
he's loving
foundations
it
are
now.
there. Yeah. Now we get to go to the F1. He doesn't just have to
Mm,
watch it.
class. Love it, love it. What part of your life do you maybe not show online so much?
Do I not what, sorry?
What part of your
Oh,
life do you maybe not show online so much?
I am quite private.
Mm,
So I don't potentially show a lot of the kids. I think it's not really my place.
just not needed.
Yeah, take from that what you want. Some people will put their kids across socials as much as possible. I tend to not really show private life with my husband or with the kids. I try to be as present as possible if we have family time, so I'm not
Yeah.
constantly whipping the phone out to capture content. I'm very present when I'm with family and friends, so I don't really show a lot of them. So yeah, deliberately.
I really like that because I'm very much the same, and I think a lot of coaches actually do think they have to just capture content all the time. And like
Mm.
I hate the thought of let's say going away with a partner and just being there with the phone all the time. I want to throw that phone in the safe and not see it again for 3 days.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
But there's a lot of times that I'll leave the phone in the office or the battery
Mm,
will die and I won't recharge it overnight because I'm like, I'll get that tomorrow.
yeah,
It freaks a lot of people out sometimes. But I think also what I tend to be mindful about is emotions. So if I'm having really low based emotions, which can happen, I'm human, this
mm,
comes about, right? The first thing that comes to my mind is let's go speak to Sean or let's go speak to someone, friends or family about what's going on. It's not let's go capture myself having a mental breakdown in that moment to then make content out of it to share with
yeah,
people because and it's no disrespect but it's basically from a place of I want to understand what has happened that's created this for me and how can I actually turn that into a learning positive for the individual that I'm then going to share that experience with. So rather than bring them inside my kind of anxiety moment, I'd rather learn from what triggered the anxiety response and what tools did I use to support myself to come out the other end and share that part
yeah,
rather than the I'm
yeah,
in the middle of it and you're here with me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
mentioned
just my
that.
my personal.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. It's great, and you've obviously mentioned there about kind of taking that and learning from it, which again follow on from that. Some big life lessons that you maybe learned along your journey.
There's a lot. There's a lot. So I would say the biggest lessons for me have come in 2024. I lost three members of my family. So I lost both my grandparents and my dad very, very suddenly. And that for me, I've never felt pain like it. I've never experienced any loss to that degree. And I stepped out of the business for nearly 7 months. And some of the biggest learnings have come through the depths of grief, the depths of the first time of really ever experiencing depression of that nature, and complete and utter heartbreak. I learned a lot about myself, resilience. I learned that it's okay to cry in public when you're doing your shopping in Tesco, and if people stare at you doing it, it doesn't matter. I've learned the business could survive without me in it, which was really freaking awesome. My ego would tell me it couldn't, but actually, of course, it can. That I learned so much about the people in the business that could do things, you know, without me there. I've learned I've learned a lot about my own resilience through my upbringing, but also I've learned that I value fun,
Mm,
right? If it's not fun, it's not getting done, is what I normally say to it. So I've learned to trust myself. I've learned I'm not the best at business, but I'm not the worst. I've learned that money comes and money goes, and it comes in different ways as long as you are fully aligned. And people might think that's a bit woolly, but for me, one of the biggest lessons and learnings that I have had over the last few years is that you are not guaranteed tomorrow. This is quite deep, but you are guaranteed the choices you make in the moment. So if you want a cliff jump, fucking cliff jump, enjoy the ride, right? Literally, have fun. If it's up your alleyway to go do that, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't.
Love it. Love it. I'm a very deep kind of guy, so we'll end on this very deep question.
Mm.
It's your 85th birthday. Your whole family, friends, and everyone you have ever met has came to this birthday party. They
Mm-hmm.
all have something to say to you. What would you want that to be?
Mm. That they've learned, I want to position this in a way that they've learned from me and they're thankful for me living my true life, right? So doing what I've wanted to do when I've wanted to do it, being who I am without apology, and having that ripple effect of, just, I suppose, through like ancestral energies that actually they're going to go do the same thing. They've learned through me to live their life on their terms, not through the lens of what society deems is right.
Love it.
Mm.
Brilliant. Very, very good. I like it. Thank you, Adele. It's been an
You're
absolute
welcome.
pleasure. Very,
Thank
very,
you.
very enjoyable.
Thank you for having me. I've loved
Yeah.
it.
No, it's
Yeah.
good. I know you've got to run, so I'll press record there and sorry, stop record.